Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. So this project is going to be a fun one. This one has been requested for quite a while now, and this one has been going around the wreath groups for a few years. So what this is great for is this is great for using those rolls that you could probably get about 8 more pieces of petals out of those rolls that you couldn't do a full wreath. We're going to use it in this wreath, and it's so easy to do. So we're going to make 3 mini wreaths, and we're going to put it on one Dollar Tree wreath frame. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to make this like tri wreath. That's not a good word for a triple flower wreath, a mini flower wreath. I don't know what you want to call it, but whatever you want to call it, we'll do it. I have been seeing these wreaths in crafting groups for probably a year or so now, and I don't know who originally came up with this idea, but I know that a lot of the petals and different things like that have been on them have come from me or some of my friends. And so what we're going to do is, this is kind of one of those projects that you can literally go to your craft stash. You don't need a whole roll of anything. I simply do not have everything out, and I got rid of a lot of my smaller rolls when we moved. So we're just going to crack these open, and I liked these 3 colors together. And there's a couple of things that you can do. I'm going to use these 6-inch wreath frames that I believe I got from Joann's, but I'm pretty sure you can buy these online too. And I have 3 of them. And I'm going to use these because I have them. I might check this other one looks a little wonky there, but we're going to use those. Or you could go get like plastic coasters or cut out your plastic canvas. The reason why I'm not going to use these today is because the holes are so small, and I have these, so I'm going to use these. So you can use either one of these, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to cut out, let's cut out about 6 to 7 pieces of each of these colors here. And we're going to get our wood burner out. I will show you guys in a moment. And we're always going to cut it at 10 inches by 10 inches, okay? So let me get my wood burner out and we'll get started. Okay, if you know me, you know I love pink. So we're going to do this like fuchsia color. But honestly, you guys, pick whatever colors you want. You can even get out deco mesh if you have that. Fabric mesh. This is one of those great projects that you don't need a whole roll, which is a plus, and you can kind of use those like half rolls that you have too, which makes it a nice perk. So I'm going to just cut this, and I use a wood burner. I get a lot of questions about this, and I would just say make sure that you have a glass cutting board. We have a rotary mat. This one came from the Wreath Shop, and you can get them there. They're like $20 or $25, which is a great price. And then I have affiliate links for all the stores that I shop in the description box. And you're just going to take it and you're going to cut it in between the squares. Now I'm going to use poly burlap because I love poly burlap. It's my favorite mesh to work with. So that's what I want to do. So here I'm going to start cutting them at 10 inches. And then, so I'm going to cut 6, let's just say 7. I'm going to cut 7, but again, we'll figure out whether or not we really truly need all of those. But, Carla, one of my followers here, she messaged me. She makes wreaths. Carla Megala. I hope I didn't say your name wrong. Carla, she messaged me last week and said, can you make this wreath? And I said, you know what? I've seen people do that. I think I can. But the lady, I don't know, her name is Kimberly Kinney. So if you're Kimberly Kinney, I would love to share, if you have an Etsy shop or something, I would love to share your link in the description. So if you guys know Kimberly, reach out to her. Kimberly Kinney, spelled Kenney, I think. So help me find Kimberly, and let's give her a little bit of love here because she had shared the pictures and shared the back of it. So we're going to go with it. All right. So I'm going to cut all this out, and then we're going to come back. We're also going to cut some green because we're going to need some leaves. And I'm going to cut, let's see, we have 3 flowers. I'm going to say, let's cut 10 pieces, 12 pieces of the green. And you're going to cut it the same 10 inches. Okay. Okay. So we have our 3 rings here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make little circles here, and we are going to cut them out and attach them. So all you're going to do is you're just going to take a Sharpie or something like a Sharpie, and then make your circle outside of that inside circle of your frame. cut it out, and then you're just going to zip tie it onto the center, okay? So I'll come back and that'll be done. Okay, so we are ready to roll on our frames here. We have 3 of them already done. So basically you're just gonna take whatever color you wanna do, and I'm gonna, where did I put my pink? Here they are. I love pink, so let's just start with pink. So this is, I can't remember the name of this petal. Let me look it up really quick because I have it on my YouTube channel. Hold on. Okay, I found it. It's the zinnia petal, okay? So one thing I'm going to leave in the comments, because you could do any petal that you wanted. I have 2 videos, a part 1 and a part 2 of all the different petals that I've done. I think it's petals. And then I have, yeah, the flower petal video. I have that. And I also have like the flower center video. So I have these videos that you can kind of learn different techniques and then put it away in whatever way you want. So basically you're going to start out with your 10 by 10 poly burlap, deco mesh, whatever it is you want to make. Just keep in mind that poly burlap will have a darker look, and it just is an easier product to make these petals with, in my opinion. So I'm going to just pull out the edges here, and then we are going to bring them in. I'm going to pull them out a little bit. And we are going to, this is where the rotary mat is really handy. So whether you want to get one from the Wreath shop or go to my Amazon storefront, I have them linked there as well. You're going to go to the 7-inch mark, basically, okay? So here is the 7-inch. So we are not going to gather at the middle. We want 1 inch shorter than the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a short, I have some shorter 4-inch zip ties here. I'm going to put off to the side. And you can either use a zip tie, you could use pipe cleaners in the color here if you wanted to do that. But I'm just going to do this. I'm going to cut that off. And then I'm going to take this and we're going to come over. All right. And we're going to make sure that our ends meet together. All right. See that? So what that does is this makes a shape of a petal. It looks like more of a zinnia or smaller daisy. And then I'm just going to kind of bring it in and I'm going to gather it right there. So when we flip it over, you have this really pretty petal. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to take one of your forms here, and we are only going to need to do 1 layer of these petals. We don't need to do 2 layers. All right. So I'm going to actually just kind of go in on the center section here of the frame. So I'm not even using it on the actual wreath frame. That's why I say if you want to just cut a 6-inch or a 5-inch diameter coaster in the bigger plastic canvas, you could just do that. I'm just doing this because I have it and I'm just going to use it. Okay. So then I'm going to just kind of work with my petal here and get the shape that I want. I'm going to cut this off, and then I'm going to take one of my tools I have. So I have a couple of these tools. Again, these are in my Amazon shop. They work the same way. They're just different brands. So let's see if this blade, you know what? I don't know if this one is going to work or not. There we go. And I'm going to just be very careful because it's really, really sharp, and I'm going to cut it like that. And it cuts it really, really easy. Now, you could also use the scissors. If your scissors are good enough for that, then use the scissors. So let's make another one. Again, I'm going to pull it apart here a little bit and then come at the middle. And then I'm going to be at the 7-inch mark. I'm going to gather it, take a small zip tie, and then we are going to take this over and we're going to meet the tip. Okay, that's really important. All right, and then we're about, let's see, what was about that? That would have been about the 4-inch mark, I think. And I'm going to turn in that unfinished side. All right, let's see if that's about the same size. It is. So what we're going to do is we're literally going to put it right beside the other one. Isn't that pretty? Just the look of that is already really pretty to me. So I'm thinking we're going to need about 7 petals. I could be wrong. We might need 8. I think that I'm doing a little bit bigger than what Kimberly did. And again, if you know Kimberly, Kimberly, if you're watching this, you know, make sure you comment, message me. And I want to know if you have an Etsy shop, because if somebody would like to buy one of your wreaths, I'd love for them to buy one. I don't sell wreaths anymore, guys. I just don't. Let me see if my favorite scissors will work too. Yep. Oops, I almost cut that. Did you see that? I almost cut right into that. But these are from Amazon. They're typically anywhere from $10 to $14 a pair. You guys got me started on this brand, and I absolutely love them. So we're going to put, yeah, I think 7 is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up, and we'll see how many is needed, and then I'll come right back. And boom, with the magic of editing, I have 3 of them now. It took a little bit longer than 3, but you get my drift. Let me tell you, we needed 7 petals. So we needed, let's see, 7 petals for each of these. Actually, I did 8 on that one. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Where am I getting 7? I don't know what I just saw, but we needed 8. Now, here's the thing. If you're looking at your disc here or your wreath frame, if I had gone inward even more, you might do less. So it really depends on what method you're using. You might get away with using less petals with one of these. It's really up to you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the centers of these flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some different colors of felt that I have. I always keep quite a bit of felt on hand for the backs of my wreaths. And so when I do that, I also used to make a lot of these centers for the middle of my wreaths. So basically what you're going to do is we're going to take, let's see how much this does. This is actually 30 inches. So it is really 60 inches long, but we're doubling it up. And we are going to take our rotary cutter. We're going to take this. This one has seen better days. I think it's time for a new one. What do you guys think? I need to order a new one. That's okay. I literally had this when I first started making wreaths. So it is time for a new one, and that's all right. So I'm going to cut the 30-inch length here, but I don't know that I'm going to need all of it. So what we're going to do, I've got that lined up. We're going to cut it 4 inches long. That looks about right. Okay. I don't think that went all the way through. Sometimes the blade's not quite sharp enough because it's old. Okay, so there we go. Let's move it down. Didn't quite get it all. To make our work a little bit easier, I'm going to cut this over here. Make it go a little bit faster. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your hot glue gun here, and this has been on for a while, so some of the glue looks a little yellow. I'm going to bend over. As you can see, there's some sort of orange right there, but that's okay, nobody will see it. And I'll do it here. Okay, in the middle of that, I got glue on my finger, so you might see a blister pop up right in the middle of this video. We will see. So I went ahead and I did both sides there. And for this one, we are going to actually, I feel like 4 inches is a little bit much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this up. And we are going to trim it up to, let's do it like this. We're going to trim it up to about, so it makes it 2 inches. So we want it to be about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to trim off a little bit more. And I'm going to press really hard so that it cuts all the way through. Very good. Sometimes you got to do something a little different because I feel like that would have been too big of a center. You'll understand here in a moment. Okay. Seriously, I gotta, you know what? My kids have been using this for their homework too. And I'm like, okay, we need real rulers. All right, so we've got them down to where we want. And so what I want to do is, it just makes it go a little bit faster if I just do it this way. So this is the opened end, and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to do this. You're just going to make little cuts kind of halfway through or a third of the way through. So do all of this and then come right back. Okay, so we have them done. I mistakenly cut the wrong side, so we're going to see if this works. I don't know, Julie, what were you thinking? But listen, guys, as I'm teaching you guys how to do this, if you didn't know, Julie's Biz Boutique is open. I do more than just show you how to craft. I show you how to run an online business with your social media. So if you want to learn more about that, click the link in the description box below. I'll pin it. We'd love to have you join Julie's Biz Boutique. It's a monthly paid group where you will get training on just about anything you can imagine, from Pinterest to Facebook to Etsy to website options to how to ship your product, what you can use, and even how to price your product. And there's so much more. So if you want to learn about that, join Julie's Biz Boutique. It's only open for another week, really less than that, 5 more days, and you won't be able to get in until we open the doors again. So we're going to take our little center here, and we are just going to start, and we're going to be really careful because we don't need any more blisters. I'm telling you, I have so many scars on my hands from burning myself, and we're just going to roll this in on itself. I know that you've probably seen this with like paper and origami and that sort of thing. So this is what we're going to do. Okay. And let's see how big this gets. See that stain? Nobody's going to see it. And I'm just going to keep, this is going to be enough. You might need just a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to look at that. Let's put a little bit more glue. Ouch. See, I burn myself all the time. You see that? That was a burn. Getting something out of the oven. I'm a little bit of a clumsy person, and my dad always used to call me klutz because that really fit me. So let's see if this works in here. So as you can see, that works, but we need it to be bigger. So we're going to add the next one onto it. So wherever we stop, we will now put our glue on the floret here and start it wherever we stop. Okay. So I'm thinking this will be plenty big once we add all of this, and then I'll show you how we're going to put it on. So 2 30-inch strips of felt will do just fine. Okay, so you're seeing that, but we can go back and kind of trim it, but you can also kind of bring it down a little bit. Get some more glue. I have these little glue sticks. I love the Gorilla Glue sticks. These are little. You know, I'm used to the big ones. So let's get there. Come on. Probably just leave that out. It's my favorite glue gun. Okay, let's move this up. Just gonna work at it, and there you have a little floret. Okay, let's see if that's big enough now. Yep, that's gonna be big enough. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make these in different colors, and then I'm gonna put them on our wreath. Okay, so basically once that's set up, what I'll do is, let me show you real quick here. I'm going to take a little piece of our scrap here that we used. And I'm going to take a piece of wire or a pipe cleaner, but I just kind of feel like the wire is just a little bit easier to get onto your wreath form. We're going to do this. And then we're going to put glue on that strip there. And then I'm going to put glue underneath. And again, like I said, this is the Gorilla Glue. It really will make a difference, even in the climate, the higher heats. All right, so we're gonna let that sit, and I'm gonna make 2 more. I think I'm gonna do an orange one and a yellow center, and then we're gonna put them all together, and then we'll add the leaves and put it together, and we're gonna have a beautiful mini flower wreath. Okay, so we have an orange center, a yellow center, and a white center. And I'm going to use the white on this is like a mint color. So you're just simply going to put the center through the center of your wreath, through that canvas mesh. And then I'm going to like make sure that it covers everything. We got it all covered. And then I'm going to just twist it and then clip the ends. So I'm going to do that for each of the wreaths here. I'm going to put the centers on, and then I need to get this a little bit tighter here. Okay. And like always, I'll just kind of put it in there. All right, very pretty. All right, so let's do the other ones and come right back. Okay, so we have our little miniature flowers. You could be done with one flower and hang it on something and you have a really cute little wreath here, but let's put some leaves on. We are just gonna take our leaves curled side up, and I am gonna take a zip tie, have it ready to use. We're gonna meet it in the middle, and then we are just going to gather it, okay? And then I'm gonna flip it over. When I flip it over, I'm gonna put the left petal over the right. That's my single petal fold. And basically we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna find a spot where we can add it to our wreath frame. So I'm gonna add it underneath here because we have plenty of room to do that. So the goal here would be to get it through and under. Let me show you here. Got glue all over my nails. Okay, there we go. All right, so do you see what I did there? That's all I did. Okay, so that's gonna come up a little bit too, and I kind of want that. So I'm gonna cut that one. So let's start out with 3 on here because this is a smaller frame. So I'm just gonna kind of do it like here. I'm gonna put that right there. Do the same thing again. Flip it over, and then find a spot to kind of go under that zip tie. Come on. You could do these before, and maybe I should have done that. Let's try this again. Okay. Because this is such a small frame. You could do this in such a way that you put it on the other frame. But I'm going to try it this way and see. If it doesn't work, we'll figure this out. Okay, so you can see where I kind of put these leaves. There's no really right or wrong way to put them on. You're just going to want to fill in the gaps. So you're like, again, putting together a little puzzle. I did want to come back and show you guys that if I ever find an easier way to do something while I'm doing it, I'm always going to come back and show you. What I figured out is it's easier just to lift the petals and put these leaves on like this. So let me just show you really quick. And then we might end up adding a few leaves to the actual gold frame here that we got from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to lift them up. See what I'm doing? I'm just putting my petal there. I'm going to put this like so. And do it like this, and it will just do just as good of a job as the other way. I feel like I was trying to do it a little too hard, and sometimes I make things a little hard, and I want to make it a little bit simpler for you guys. So let's grab a couple more of these. We might add a few more leaves, like I said, but I'm going to put 2 more leaves, just going to kind of put them throughout. I'm thinking I do 2 kind of together, and then we do 1 over on the other side, and then we'll come back and we'll put this together on our frame. Okay, so I've put 3 leaves on each of these, and we're pretty much going to put this together like a puzzle, okay? That's pretty much all there is to it. So I'm going to take this Dollar Tree wreath form. Yes, you can get them in this color. Usually like fall time and Christmas time, you'll see them in Dollar Tree. So we're just going to use this one. And I'm going to start with the gold one. And I'm going to flip it over here. All right, so I want it about right there. Okay, that's where I want it. So I'm going to just flip it over and see how we're going to attach this. And so we're going to take some zip ties. and just find a spot. I'm going to kind of go, let's move this over so we can get underneath that grid in the frame itself. And then I want this bracket, so I'm gonna just kind of like find a spot, and we're just gonna put it together. It's gonna be really easy to do. You're gonna want to do that in a couple of places. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's do one over here and do that. Okay, so that's not gonna move anything. I'm gonna grab my wire cutters. Where are my wire cutters at? There they are. These, again, I have an Amazon storefront, and all my favorite gadgets and craft supplies and favorite things in life are there. So you can just check that out. All right, so we got the first one on. Perfect. Then the next one is our pink one. And again, you're just gonna kind of play around with it because we just want it. I don't really want to cover too much of one wreath, so I think that looks pretty good. So but we want to make sure we cover the wreath frame too, okay? So this is where I want this one, so I'm going to just flip it over. Okay, so this is where I know I want it. Don't want it to move on me. So again, I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to just look and start at the right place so that we don't move it. I feel like these little grid things are really kind of the spot to do it at. This plastic canvas that you can get in your, I know the Wreath Shop sells it. I don't know if Trendy Tree or Mel's Crafty Mojo does. But again, you can order all this like poly burlap. People ask me all the time, where do you love to get your poly burlap? At the Wreath Shop and Trendy Tree. You can buy it at Hobby Lobby and Michael's too. But let's see, I kind of like, I use what I have really. Let's see, come on. It's just going to be a little tedious here, so you're just going to take your time. Everything is covered. Now, when I'm looking at this, I cover that one, but I think we're going to need to put one more leaf in here. What do you guys think? I think we're going to need one more. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to put this to the side. I have some extra leaves. Okay, so we added one more. So let's see here. And we can get these to kind of come up a little bit. Might make a little pretty dimension. See how that kind of comes up? So let's flip it over. Let me grab where I want it here. Let's flip it over. Oops, bringing everything else with me. I cut out a piece of felt that we're going to put on the back of this. And I'm going to put one more down. Let's do this over here. Really, there's no right or wrong, guys. Just wherever you can find a spot. Okay. And I'm not really sure I'm going to put that felt on here because there are some spots that you can see. The main thing is that the frame is covered. So as you can see, we might have a spot right there. So let's turn it over. So we do have a spot right here. So let me see, can we maybe move our, this is not a perfect wreath, but you're not looking for like a perfect symmetrical wreath here. We're looking for this to be kind of, you know, on the wall a different way, but I think that we're getting it. I'm not sure. Can you see I think we're getting it. So I don't really think we need another leaf anywhere. So what do you guys think? If you've made it this far in the video, I'm going to kind of go back into my centers and just make sure they're good. If you made it this far, would you leave like a little bumblebee, a sign that spring is going to come? Because I'm in Michigan and we just had an awful ice storm up here. It was quite something, let me tell you. And this is the hopes that spring will come soon, right? So I think it turned out really cute. I hope you guys really like this project. It's very different. You can either make just a miniature wreath and you have a new center option, or you can do this triple flower wreath. So I think it turned out cute. I hope you love it. This is going to be about, man, it's going to be more than like, it's going to be about 26 inches by about 28 inches. It's going to be a good size wreath. So whatever you do, know that this is going to cover up quite a bit of your wall. So make sure you check out Julie's Biz Boutique. It's open until March the 3rd. If you have been waiting to try to get into my group, I would love to have you there. It does cost money to join. So check out the link in the description box below. Leave me some sort of bee or like little sign of spring. We're in Michigan where we're hoping spring will come. I hope you guys love this wreath. So next week, next Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll always be here on YouTube. So until then, we'll talk to you later. Bye.